You want to know what the big money is? It's how to transform the problem into an opportunity. Whatever you think is a problem now, guys, I assure you, it's an opportunity. Don't stress yourself too much. So whatever your situation is, there are many solutions. I assure you, many solutions. And you just need to brainstorm with somebody to tell you, here's the possibility, look at it this way, look at it this way. Have you ever asked different people what to do about something? I mean, it's amazing. You ask an accountant, they're looking at the numbers only. Right? You ask a lawyer, they start telling you what the liability is. If you do this, you can get sued. If you do that, this is better. If you do this, you go ask a priest, they tell you, is this blessed by God? Are you doing the right thing for others? Is this okay? All these perspectives really help you think, and it's like gymnastic to your brain. But if you're sitting by yourself in the room only, well, you're the one who created the problem to begin with. You're in it. You're in the problem. I want you to step out and look, because then it becomes a game. You're no longer succumbing and being effect to the game. You are now at cause, looking as if you're advising a friend of yours. You can become your own best advisor by coming out of the problem and looking at it from different ways. And you first tell yourself, this is the best thing that happened to me. Your brain is going in a glitch. It's a problem. No, this is the best thing that happened to me. All of a sudden you see all the potential, all the opportunities. Because look, a problem. You have a problem. First thing is you should have avoided it. You should avoid the problem. This person looks like a problematic person. I don't want to talk to them. I'm going to avoid it. This buyer looks like he's going to be very problematic. I want to avoid this guy. One time, I'm selling a house. I put it under contract with this lawyer. This lawyer comes over. I mean, we did an open house. I do always open house for the first day I'm going to sell a property, if it's a residential. And I'm there the first day. So I do an open house. This guy comes in. There was a lot of people showing up. And he said, look, I'm a serious attorney. I'm an attorney for big firms right here. I'm going to pay you. How much do you want? And whatever the price was, I can't even remember, like $1.1 million or whatever. And he said, I'm not going to negotiate with you. I'm going to write you a check right now and don't have anybody bid against me. I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted like $1.05 million. This guy's offering me the $1.1 million asking price. No question. He writes a check. Who do I make it to? Make it to this, sign. So I took the check and I stood up on it was like the kitchen counter a little bit. And I said, everybody, I got a check here for $1.1 million for the deposit. 100,000 going to open escrow. If anybody's going to make me an offer higher, he's like, what? You said nobody. I said, one moment, this is my property. Anybody going to make me an offer that's higher? Let me know right now. If not, I'm going to ask you to leave because I'm closing the open house. Got a serious buyer. He's a Mr. Attorney right here and he's going to buy it. And everybody looked. People shook my hand. Thank you. Congratulations. I'm a neighbor. I was checking the values. I just didn't know. Maybe it's too small for us. Thank you. Got them all out. Next day he calls me. Here is the contract. Sign, initial. Like a couple hours later after I send him the contract. As an attorney, I must tell you, if you would have looked in page whatever, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, there will be somebody coming to do an inspection for this and that. If you do not open the door by 11:15, you are in breach of contract, section this, number that, according to California rules of this and this and that. So I made sure I'm there at 10:45. Somebody comes in. And then I said, I'm going to put a lockbox with a code. Next day, we are going to send somebody for the roof and you better be there at 8 in the morning. And if you do not, you're not in compliance. I said, oh my God, this guy is going to be a nightmare. Even after I close, he's going to come back to me for a period of time. I said, I got to get him out. So I called the lawyer. I need this guy out. He said, you're already signed to sell. He has 30 days for inspections. You can do anything. I'm going to do something. I emailed him. In the interest of full disclosure, I have seen some pigeons coming off the roof, flying hard. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the inspector didn't catch it yesterday. Boom, next day. In the interest of full disclosure, I was in the house and it smells like gas. There may be a gas problem. I am not responsible. I'm hereby disclosing to you. Full disclosure, I'm not liable. If you're buying it as is, with the pigeon problem upstairs that I cannot assess, and the gas leak that may be happening inside the house. That is my full disclosure. Please respond acknowledging this, and I will send you an addendum to the contract. Third day, please acknowledge the fact that the neighbor may be nasty. They looked at me in a nasty way, and they look like criminals. I know it's a nice area, but I do not vouch for any. Fourth day, I remember I was in Los Angeles in San Pedro. We had this Mexican restaurant, beautiful place, we're eating, and the guy calls me. And I don't take the call. Why don't I take the call? I wanted to go to voicemail so I can assess from his voice intonation and his frustration what he's saying. Calls me again, no voicemail. Calls me again. I want to enjoy my Mexican food. Can I finish the Mexican? Finally, I told my wife, let me take the call now. I step outside. I'm right on San Pedro, on Gaffey Street, very noisy street. I said, yes, go ahead. And he says, I understand what you're doing. I concede to your demand and I'll get out of the contract. Could you please refund my deposit that's in escrow? I said, I don't know. You'll have to send it in writing. I'll have to think about it because according to California, sir, I understand what you're doing. I'm sorry I was very nasty. Can you give me a chance? No, sir, I cannot give you a chance. Thank you and have a good life. I avoided the problem. I assure you, my story would have been completely different if I would have sold that guy. That guy is a nightmare. He looked like a nice person. But as soon as we signed, he changed to a monster. Number two, you can't avoid it. Solve it. Solve it. Find out its root cause. How do you find the root cause of a problem? How do you investigate it? There is actually a very specific way by Einstein. He said, if you want to know the source of a problem, what do? You ask why 7 times. Why is the problem? Okay, so why this happened? Okay, and why did this happen? And where did it come from? Okay, why is this? And then you get to the actual source of the problem. But I'm going to add to it something else. Don't just ask why, ask who. Who am I dealing with? Who's in charge? Who let it leak? Who? Problems are always created by people and solved by people. Who was in charge and didn't do what they're supposed to do? Very important. But this is all what normal people do. I'll tell you where the big money is. You want to know what the big money is? It's how to transform the problem into an opportunity. Whatever you think is a problem now, guys, I assure you, it's an opportunity. Oh, Cherif, I'm bankrupt. How could that be an opportunity? You have nothing to lose. You got no other fear. You're already bankrupt. So you're all the way down, and you have no way but up.